After a 2-week break, Kelly and Mark resumed their regularly scheduled programming this week. The return of the husband and wife hosting combination to television was welcomed by many, but some have taken issue with Mark Consuelos. See why viewers have criticized him for his inappropriate actions by reading on. Mark Consuelos seems sulky during the cooking part. When Mark Consuelos returned last week, he appeared completely different. Many followers expressed their thoughts regarding his new hairstyle, which was a lot shorter buzz cut. But that wasn't the reason they were furious. The live couple is definitely a little worn out. They spent 2 weeks going overseas. In addition, before they left for New York City, Mark was in Atlanta filming a show pilot. Mark appeared cranky in a recent cookery program with Chef Shireen Pavlides. The part was probably shot in New York City later in the day. They were being shown several hot dog cooking techniques by Chef Shireen. Despite his best efforts to maintain a smile, the live host was clearly irritated during the segment. When they saw Mark Consuelos acting badly during the cooking portion, they didn't think twice about telling him. A number of individuals commented on his behavior when the video was posted online. "Mark is grumpy," a fan commented. Another wrote, "Not his usual cheerful self." In agreement. Why does Mark appear so glum? Mark could have been a little cranky that day for a number of reasons. More lately, the two live hosts have made an effort to interact with their viewers on social media. They are frequently the subject of unfriendly remarks from others. Many individuals expressed disapproval of his recent hairstyle change and his wife's makeup instruction. He might have had a rough day because of social media critiques. Alternatively, he might have simply been exhausted. The two recently returned from Switzerland. Mark might still be suffering from jet lag. In addition, a heat wave has been affecting a large portion of the United States while they were filming outside. He might have simply been overheated and uncomfortable. He might have been more exhausted than normal because the empty nesters also entertained some of their kids for the 4th of July vacation. Kelly Ripa posted a picture of their home's doorway filled with shoes. She referenced her boys, Michael and Joaquin, by overlaying the picture with the song, "The Boys Are Back in Town." In any event, Mark Consuelos' negative attitude on camera was noted by fans. Mark Consuelos may be charming, handsome, and quick-witted, but according to some Live with Kelly and Mark viewers, he crossed the line this week, and they're not happy about it. Fans flooded social media after Thursday's episode, accusing the actor-turned-host of exhibiting what they called rude, condescending, and bad behavior toward both his wife and co-host, Kelly Ripa, and the show's guests. What started as a lighthearted morning chat quickly turned into a mini-storm of awkward tension and online backlash. And while Kelly did her best to keep things breezy, even her trademark grin seemed to flicker more than once as Mark's comments raised eyebrows. The segment that sparked it all. It all began during a segment that was supposed to be funny. A couples challenge game in which Kelly and Mark were quizzed about their relationship habits. The producers, clearly knowing their audience, prompted them with cheeky questions about who forgets anniversaries, who's messier, and who's more likely to start an argument. But the tension kicked in when Mark interrupted Kelly mid-sentence, more than once, to correct her answers. "No, that's not what happened," he said, leaning forward with a grin that looked more smug than playful. "You always leave your clothes everywhere, Naomi." Kelly shot him a quick side eye that could have cut glass, her lips pressed tight. The audience chuckled nervously, unsure whether they were supposed to laugh or brace for impact. And when Kelly tried to explain herself, Mark waved his hand and said, "You're rewriting history, babe." Classic Ripa move. That's when the room went still, and online, fans erupted. Fans react. Someone needs to calm down. Clips of the moment made their way onto X, formerly Twitter, within minutes. Fans didn't hold back. "Mark really needs to chill. It's morning TV, not a debate stage," one viewer wrote. Another added, "The way he talks over Kelly is so uncomfortable. She's literally the queen of this show. Show some respect." Several fans pointed out that Kelly, who has hosted live for over 2 decades, handled the awkward energy like a pro. Kelly deserves a medal for keeping that smile. One comment read, "You could tell she was annoyed, but she stayed classy." Others accused Mark of being territorial about the spotlight, saying his behavior often gives off main character syndrome. Mark treats Lev like it's his own talk show and not a partnership, a viewer posted. He's lucky Kelly even lets him finish a sentence most days, when playfulness crosses into problematic. Longtime fans of the couple know their dynamic has always been based on teasing and banter, the very thing that makes their chemistry magnetic. But the latest episodes seem to push that balance too far. Psychologist Dr. Hannah Dwyer, who specializes in communication patterns between couples, weighed in after clips circulated online. When light teasing becomes consistent interruption or one-upmanship, it changes the tone of the interaction. She explained in a commentary piece, "Viewers can sense when one partner's humor starts to feel disrespectful rather than affectionate. That seemed to be the case here. Even though Mark likely thought he was being funny, his delivery felt defensive and dismissive, especially in contrast to Kelly's calm composure." Kelly's reaction, grace under pressure. To her credit, Kelly didn't snap. Though fans noticed her subtle body language shift, she crossed her legs, leaned slightly away from Mark, and flashed that telltale tight smile that only seasoned hosts can pull off. "All right, Mr. Consuelos, we'll let the audience decide who's the messy one," she quipped finally, expertly steering the conversation back on track. The audience applauded, but even that couldn't erase the awkwardness that lingered for the rest of the segment. Backstage whispers later suggested that Kelly wasn't thrilled about how things went down, though she reportedly brushed it off as Mark getting a little carried away. Still, fans aren't so quick to forgive. A pattern fans can't ignore. This isn't the first time Mark's on-air behavior has drawn criticism. Earlier this year, viewers called him out for interrupting guests during interviews and for making comments that seemed to overshadow Kelly. One particularly memorable moment came during a cooking segment when celebrity chef Alex Guarnaschelli was showing them a new recipe. As she tried to explain a step, Mark grabbed the utensil out of her hand and said, "I got this." Kelly's mouth dropped open as Alex laughed it off, but social media didn't. "He's always doing too much," a fan posted then. "Kelly's a pro, but she has to babysit him every episode." Another wrote, "It's live with Kelly and Mark, not Mark and whoever's around him." So when this week's bad behavior surfaced, many fans saw it not as a one-time slip, but as part of a growing pattern. The co-host balancing act. It's worth noting that Mark stepped into a very big role when he officially joined the show in 2023, taking over as co-host, especially opposite someone as beloved and experienced as Kelly Ripa, is no easy feat. Kelly's longtime fans are fiercely loyal, protective even. Any perceived slight against her, intentional or not, can ignite an instant backlash. And while Mark's natural confidence can be charming, it can also read as domineering on camera if not balanced with sensitivity. Viewers have a strong parasocial connection with Kelly, media analyst Lauren Shore explained. They see her as someone who's earned her space. So when Mark appears to dismiss her, even jokingly, it feels personal to the audience. In other words, Mark may just be teasing his wife, but the audience feels like he's teasing their Kelly. Kelly's quiet power move. Interestingly, Kelly may have already sent a subtle message in Friday's episode. Fans noticed that during the host chat segment, she led most of the conversation, steering topics, controlling the pacing, and offering Mark fewer openings to interject. She even joked, "I'll let you speak after I finish my thought today, okay?" The audience erupted in laughter, and even Mark chuckled, realizing the gentle jab was both deserved and smartly delivered. It was vintage Kelly, witty, poised, and fully in control without breaking a sweat. Fans' final verdict. As the week wrapped up, social media calmed, though not without leaving Mark a few lessons in humility. Fans still love the duo and their real-life chemistry, but they made one thing clear: respect is non-negotiable. Kelly has carried that show for over 20 years. One longtime viewer wrote, "Mark needs to remember he's not just her husband here. He's her co-host. There's a difference." Another summed it up more bluntly: "Mark's handsome, but that doesn't mean he can talk over the queen." Despite the drama, many viewers hope the couple can use the moment as a reset. After all, their honest, sometimes messy, chemistry is part of what makes Live so watchable. If Mark can channel his energy into collaboration instead of competition, fans might be ready to forgive and move on. But if he keeps pushing Kelly's buttons on air, they'll be the first to call him out. Live and loud.